and you are welcome to come speak to me afterwards. Ask me any questions that you might have. Stacey's going to be with me this evening, so you're welcome to go speak to her too. Alrighty, let's begin. So, who is DuePoint? We're actually a division of another business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a very long-standing, reputable insurance company that was formed in 1952. So they're a very old business. They played quite a fundamental role in developing the insurance industry in South Africa. They're one of the few registered insurers in South Africa. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see at the bottom there, and you'll notice in our foyer above the water cooler we've got all our Financial Services Board licenses on display. We've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got an FSP license, an investment license. We've got lots of licenses. It's very important for you guys at this stage to start building, or for us to start building some credibility with you so that you at least start to trust the business that we're going to be speaking about this evening. It's a very important step for anyone that wants to develop a partnership between themselves and a company, right? We all know there's a lot of schemes floating around South Africa. It's very important for us that you guys believe we are a credible business. So we've been around for a very long time, 70 years nearly. We're actually part of another business called Conduit Capital, which is listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. The individuals, the leadership team here at DuePoint are the individuals you see on the screen now. These are our executives as well as our senior managers. The three individuals on the far left are all chartered accountants, so registered chartered accountants in South Africa, the brains behind the business. Jane and I are the looks behind the business. So that's Brendan over there on the far left. He's our senior executive. He runs this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his family have been entrenched in insurance for 50 years. His father, Dr. Brian Benfield, founded Clientele Life along with the IFA. Brendan and his brother followed in their father's footsteps with regards to insurance, and they founded a business down the road called PMD, Prime Meridian Direct, a very successful short-term insurance business. So we're very lucky to have someone like Brendan leading this business, and I always tease him and his brother. So they've probably got insurance policies as little boys growing up for their birthdays. But I'm sure their father's very proud with what they've gone on and done. And then we've got Tim Reynolds. He heads up a lot of the accounting, the financial, and the regulatory aspects here at our business. And he's got a lot of experience in corporate banking and finances, because he was working directly beneath the CEO at the First Rand Group, which we all know is a very large banking organization. They own RMB, FNB, Discovery, very large banking group. He was reporting directly to the executive board there. So I don't know why he joined our little business, because I'm sure he had a very corporate, very cushy job where he was. And then we've got Stacey, who's here this evening. Stacey's got quite a bit of experience locally as well as abroad with Deloitte. And she's back in South Africa, and we are very lucky to get her on board with the team. And then, like I said, the good-looking people on the far right here, myself and Jane. Jane's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling. She actually comes from England, from York, in the UK, and she's been in South Africa for about 10 years. And then myself, definitely the youngest and best looking out of the whole team. And I was working in marketing and advertising most of my working career. I started a digital agency fairly early in my career, in the late 90s, when the internet was exploding. And we ran a fairly successful agency that serviced a lot of the banking clients in Johannesburg, South Africa, as well as abroad. And then I got out of that business about 2.5 years ago when I joined DuePoint. So I'll touch on why I left that business. So this is the team. Our mandate here as a team is to see our wealth engineers as successful and as effective as possible, because it's only through our wealth engineers that we as a business can be successful. So we share common interest with you. We want to see you being effective at what we're introducing you to this evening. We want to see you effective and successful for yourselves as well as for us. So we share this common interest. And again, that's another important step when you create a partnership with anyone, right? Is to have common interest. Because if you don't have common interest, you're not going to collaborate with each other, right? You're just going to be at odds with one another. So this is the team. We're very much involved with our wealth engineers. We do everything that we can to support our wealth engineers here. And you will, if you become wealth engineers, you will see a lot of us. We don't hide in our offices. You can speak to any of the other wealth engineers. They see us often. We do a lot of training with our wealth engineers, and we engage a lot with our wealth engineers. Okay. So our guests here this evening, how many guests do we have? Just put your hand up quickly. Just quickly. I'm not going to ask you any questions. Great. Good. I always like to see more guests than actual wealth engineers. It means the wealth engineers are actually doing their jobs. So welcome, guys. Welcome to DuePoint. I like to discuss the premise of you guys being here, why you might be interested in what kind of was alluded to when someone said, this company DuePoint, maybe you'll be interested in them. Come have a look at what they have to say this evening. And typically that premise is about a financial opportunity, right? To put it bluntly, it's about earning more money, the opportunity to earn more money. You can see that as an entrepreneurial opportunity. It might be a need that's born out of desperation, whatever your circumstances. But from a macro point of view, I can tell you what most South Africans are going through, just because we get a lot of statistics from the FSB that tells us what people are doing with regards to their personal finances, investments, what debt looks like in South Africa, and it's all a pretty dismal, bleak picture. This is a very depressing part of the presentation, I'm sorry to say. But it sets a tone that has to be treated from your perspective as what is reality, because sometimes we have this veil over our eyes where we kind of delude ourselves with regards to what's happening with regards to our personal finances. It only becomes very obvious when we suddenly find ourselves in a situation where we get retrenched and we can't pay bills, or something happens, we have an emergency and we don't have money saved up, or we get to retirement and we don't have enough money to survive as pensioners that aren't getting salaries, right? So there's a bit of data that we look at. You see the 4-letter word up on the screen there, debt, which creates huge problems with regards to our personal finances because we let it run away. In the current economy that South Africa faces at the moment, and if you listen to the radio or the news in the last day or two, it's just all over the place again, with politics and what happens with the economy. The dollar rand is jumping all over the place. The only person that's happy are the miners, by the way. Everyone that's exporting is very happy when the rand weakens and the dollar strengthens. So all the gold miners and the platinum miners and those guys, they're very happy when the rand drops to the dollar. But for the rest of us, we don't really know what's going on. The only kind of way we see it play out in our lives is when we see food going up, when we see someone we know getting retrenched, right? And the economy affects each of us individually. I'm not going to tell you how it affects everyone, but I know from a personal point of view, the people I know, the family that I have, that it's affecting everybody. I know people that have been retrenched, people that are earning a lot of money, people that are earning a little bit of money. I see my father turn 70 next month, forced to work at 70. Forced. And he's a bright man, hard-working man, forced to work, right? My wife's a labor litigator for the biggest mining company in the country. She oversees 160,000 staff from a labor regulation point of view. She deals with all the retrenchments. It happens to the people earning 5,000 Rand a month, and she retrenches people that are earning 200,000, 300,000 Rand a month, people that work next to her at head office. Geologists, doctors, accountants, lawyers, getting retrenched. No one is safe from retrenchment in the economy that we're living in this country at the moment, right? And then it's exacerbated by this thing called debt, because South Africans take on a lot of debt, a lot. 50% of the people that have debt in this country are under debt review. That's a crazy statistic. That means 50%, or pretty much the entire working population, has got some form of debt. 50% of them are under debt review. They cannot keep up with their bills. That's half the working population. Half the working population doesn't have a job. We've got 1 million matrics coming out into the workplace every year. 1 million. And the economy is not growing. So the economy is not a great place at the moment. And we see this because businesses are unable to grow. They're unable to invest in infrastructure in the country. We're stagnant. We're stagnant at the moment. There's very little opportunity in South Africa at the moment. There are pockets of opportunity, sure. But on a macro level, it's affecting a lot of people, a lot of people. And then we have this thing, debt. So there's a whole bunch of debt instruments South Africans engaging, credit cards, car loans, home loans, all kinds of things. And to make matters even worse, and really when the writing is on the wall, is when we get closer and closer to retirement. So this is some data that Tim sent me. When was it? September last year. This was published on the Fin24 website. And this information, or this data, is predicated on the fact that we are starting to live longer, right? So the current mortality rate in South Africa is 74. So the ladies in the audience, on average, ladies are dying at 74. Men a little younger. I think men are dying at an average of 72 currently. But everyone in this room, we're all alive and kicking, right? I'm looking at all of you. You all look fairly healthy. We're not going to die at 72. With advances in health and medical technology and hospitals and healthcare, all these things, our mortality rate is increasing. And retirement planning has to cater to that increasing mortality rate. Because on average, we're going to be dying at 90, not in our 70s. Kids born today are going to live past 100. Do you know how many 100-year-olds there are in South Africa? Do you know how many people are living in South Africa in excess of 100 years of age? Over 4,000. Shocked, right? What about their retirement planning? When they retired at 60, did someone tell them, you better have saved enough money to last you 40 years? That's as long as they worked. So this information, the data that you see here, kind of shows you how much money you need to save to get to a point where you can get a monthly salary or some form of income out of the investment that you have. Okay? So for 5,000 Rand a month, by the time you retire, you need to have saved, invested R1 million. That R1 million will then pay you out 5,000 Rand for the next 30 years. This is what retirement planning is. This is what a financial advisor will tell you. They'll say, when are you going to retire? 60, 65. Right, how much can you save? Well, this is how much money you're going to earn. If you want to do that, if you're in your 20s, you're 20, 25, around there, you've got time to engage in responsible financial planning, retirement planning. So you start putting away 800 Rand a month for the next 40 years. And you'll save R1 million. You'll have R1 million invested for yourself. But who lives on 5,000 Rand? What are you going to do? You're going to be dying for the next 30 years, right? So 26,000 Rand, a lot more dignified, 26,000 Rand a month. You've been working all your life, at least enjoy your retirement. You need to save 4,000 Rand a month for 40 years to get to this point where you save 5 million Rand. Only 2% of the population retires financially independent. 2%. We've got about 50 people in the room. One person here is going to retire financially independent. One. There we go, the lady in pink. Now we all know who we need to ask for money when we get to we become retired. Right? A shocking figure. A shocking figure. The average South African only starts saving for their retirement when they're in their 50s. This data is telling you you've got to start saving for 40 years. 20, 25, not when you're 50. Okay? So this needs to serve as a reality check for you. I'm not trying to scare you. What I'm trying to do is in a very short amount of time is show you data that tells you what you should be doing if you want to save responsibly towards retirement. There's nothing wrong with this. You can do this. If you're that persistent and consistent with something that you can start at an early age, do this. This is a very safe outlet. But the problem is 98% of South Africans aren't doing it. Aren't or can't, it doesn't matter. They're finding themselves at retirement, not enough money, having to downgrade their lifestyles to such an extent that they can survive month to month, having to go to their kids to ask for money. Now you're a burden to your children, and your children will be in the same cycle. South Africans only start saving in their 50s because they've only finished paying their bond off when they're in their 50s. They've only got kids out the house, through school, through university, in their 50s. For the first time in your life, you will have extra money, but only when you're in your 50s on average. And that's why we start saving only in our 50s, because it's the first time we can only save. All right? Okay, so we finished with all the negative stuff. We're going to get on to the good stuff. So out of this, we saw this, right? With Brendan and his family's experience and some of the other partners in the business, we saw this. With the experience that we have in financial services, we saw this problem. And out of it, the DuePoint system was born. It was created to give the average South African a platform, an opportunity to do something for themselves. Your boss is not going to do it for you. The economy is not going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. It requires time and sacrifice. I'm sure we've got better places to be on a Tuesday night. Is it Tuesday tonight? Yes. I thought it was Monday for a second. Right? You'd all want to be somewhere else on a Tuesday night, I'm sure. But we're here because we have to do something for ourselves, because no one else is doing it for us. In the old days, you could rely on your business. When I talk about the old days, I'm talking about like 30 years ago. You could rely on the business. People used to start at a company and finish at a company 40 years later. Get a nice retirement. That used to happen. It does not happen anymore. So we've created this system called the DuePoint system. We've got 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. Number 1 is we want to actually see our wealth engineers become debt-free. That's the first goal. The first goal, number 1, become debt-free. Our second aspiration is to see you guys start investing time and money into something that is actually an investment for you. Something that you can build on, something that grows every month that you can look forward to. Looking forward to paying your house off in 20 years' time is not really something to look forward to. You've paid the bank back 2.5 times the value of that asset. And in the 20 years, that asset is nearly falling down. Right? With today's current builders. Ask me, I built a house. Constantly fixing the thing up. And then our third aspiration actually happens on its own. We want to see our wealth engineers happier. Smiling at the end of the month. Smiling in December and January, not only December. Right? We want you to become debt-free. When you become debt-free, I promise you, you will feel liberated, like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. When you own your house, you own the car, you pay for your kids' education a year up front. You've got no educational loans, no personal loans, no clothing accounts. None of that. The money that comes into your account is for you to spend on whatever you feel like spending it on. This is the vision that we have for our wealth engineers. How does it work? Our guests here this evening, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint. You contract with us. When you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers, and as wealth engineers, we only want you to do one thing. That is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what one of those look like. And into these channels of distribution, through our online platform, we will place products with it, individuals that you introduce to us. And that is how this whole system works. As basic as that. The benefits for you is that you get to create an additional income stream. That's why you're here tonight, to create an additional income stream. This is the only way you're going to pay your debt off any faster than what you're currently doing. You get to create recurring income. This is one of the most beautiful benefits any company can have. If you can create recurring income, it is actually residual value that you're building. So this is the reason I left my business. In 20 years, I couldn't create recurring income. At the end of every month, my business started at 0 again. If I didn't do any work for that next month, I earned 0. 0. The effort that you put into this business, into these channels of distribution, will pay you not at the end of only 1 month, but recurring at the end of the following month, and the month after that, and the month after that. You want to get into a position where you're in this business where you can take 3 months leave. 3 months leave and still get paid every single month while you're on holiday. That's the position you want to be in. That's recurring income. You get to create power duplication. This is leverage. This is the way CEOs pay themselves the biggest salary, the biggest bonus. Why? Because they're leveraging all their employees. That's why. Building these channels of distribution, what actually is happening is that you're building teams that you collaborate with. So when you're collaborating with a team of people for your own financial gain, then you create power duplication. Because if you only have 2 hours, let's say you only have an hour a day for this business, but you've got 10 people doing the same thing that you brought into the business in your channel that are only putting in 1 hour a day, that's suddenly 11 hours that's being invested into your business every single day for your financial gain. Okay? Flexi time. You're completely accountable for your own time. No one's going to give you a written warning if you don't come work in this business. You can join. Joining this business is the easiest thing in the world. Easy. 7 minutes, you become a wealth engineer. Doing the business is a whole nother story. So you're accountable. You're responsible for your own time. You go to work late a whole bunch of days in a row, you're going to get a written warning, written warning, written warning, disciplinary process, fired. Right? That's how it works here. This business, you don't do anything, you don't do anything, you don't do anything, you don't do anything, you don't do anything. Don't do anything, don't do anything. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. You're just not going to earn anything. Okay? No startup capital. There's no registration fees for this business. There's no contract that you have to sign into for 12 months or 24 months. There's no tons of stock that you have to buy to get involved in this business. It's a very low risk opportunity we're going to be speaking about. There's no qualifications or experience required. I say that because we work in financial services. Anyone that works in financial services has got to have qualifications, experience. They've got to do RE exams, some even KI exams. There is a whole list of stuff you have to do to work in financial services. You guys are contracted out of that, so you don't have to worry about that, right? You get to build an asset. This is a very important benefit, because if we're going to be speaking about something where I'm asking you, invest time into this business endeavor, at least have ownership over it. It flies in the face of normal employment, because we will spend 40, 45 years investing all our time. We invest our lives into a business where we have no ownership over it, no shareholding, no profit share. Why? Here, I'm offering you something low risk, offering something that you have ownership over. You can sell it if you want 10 years down the line. You can give it to your kids if you get too old to do the business. You can seed it to your beneficiaries if you happen to die. There's no selling involved. Like I said, we contract you out of selling. There's no selling involved. How many of our guests thought I was going to ask them to sell something tonight? No selling. None. I should hear cheering. Hey, you should be relieved. Now you can sit back in the chair properly. Relax the rest of the presentation. There's no selling. The nature of our business are financial products. These are intangible products. Like I said, there's no product waiting behind reception for you to pack into your bucky and take home with you to sell to your uncle and auntie on the weekend. So we make this business as easy and as convenient for you to get involved with as possible, just through building these channels of distribution. What are these? They start with you. So you're a guest, you become a wealth engineer. As a wealth engineer, what are you going to do? You're going to go out and just tell other people about this business opportunity. That's all you're going to do. If you're successful in that, if people are willing to hear you, if they're willing to become wealth engineers and we're able to place a product with them, that's the beginning of your channel of distribution. And those people that you introduced are going to go out and do the same thing, right? We're all in the same boat. 98% of us, we're all in the same boat. We want to change our situation. And so your channel of distribution can take on a life of its own. This is called organic growth. This is called power duplication. This is you creating the time leverage. CEO. Ownership over this entire channel of distribution that has formed because of your early efforts. So this is what it looks like, and that's all you need to do in this business. So you might make the mistake of thinking, and it's excusable, it's one of those schemes maybe. Or I've got 1,000 friends on Facebook, I'm going to bombard them all tonight, and I'm going to be rich by Friday. Doesn't work like that. I know there are schemes like that running around the country. Many, 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 many schemes like that. I've heard many stories of people having lost money in a lot of these schemes. I remind you, we are nearly a 70-year-old business. The business has been around nearly twice as long as I've been alive for, with very reputable individuals involved in this business. We would not align ourselves to any get-rich-quick scheme, ever. Ever. And we don't promise anyone getting rich quickly in this business. Never, because that doesn't exist. Hard work. Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work. There's no other way around it. You want to be successful in anything in life, whether it's your marriage, business, gym, studying, hard work. It's the only way there. That's what we're offering. We created the platform. I can't force you to work hard. That's why I say the accountability lies with you. I create the platform. I know it works because I see everyone doing it and making it work. But it requires that hard work. That's why I've got this picture of the pretty ballerina here. Because we think sometimes business is easy like that. But that's what business looks like. If you've ever had the pleasure of trying to start your own business, you will know how it is fraught with frustration, learning, constant disappointment. But no one has reached success without failing. No one. So if you want to get involved in this business, if you are even a little bit interested, I ask you to have a long-term vision for this thing. As human beings, what we do is we sometimes have this short-term expectation, always. Too much expectation in the short term instead of long-term expectation. We can do so much if we just look long-term. If we commit with the consistency and persistency, it'll get us there. But what happens? We have short-term expectations, we get frustrated too soon, and we give up before we're even close to succeeding. That's my disclaimer slide. Let's talk about how you earn here at DuePoint. Our wealth engineers, we pay our wealth engineers a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that we place in your channel. So remember the first 5 individuals you introduced to us and we placed a product with? Those individuals lie on your first point. These are people that you introduced to the business personally. They are on point 1. On point 1, we pay you double the R27.50. We pay you R55 for every product. Remember recurring income? Not at the end of 1 month. We pay you R55 for every product every month. Right? As long as those products are active. Point 2. Those individuals you introduced went out and found other individuals. These people lie on point 2 again. We pay you R55 for every product every month. Point 3, the multiplier drops to 100%. So now we're paying you R27.50 on point 3. To point 4, to point 5, all the way down to point 8. At point 8, the multiplier drops to 4%. We're paying you R1.10 for every product on point 8 into infinity. We do not limit you at point 8. All the business that gets written into your channel of distribution from point 8 onwards is attributed to you and you get paid for every month going forward. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get in this business. We don't limit you on how much you can earn in this business. Again, it speaks to long-term commitment, right? So this is the mechanics of the returns. Very straightforward. The next natural question is, Rob, how much can I earn after 3 months in this business? I'm tight this month. How quickly can I earn money? Or you talk about long-term commitment. How much money can I earn in 3 years or 5 years? So the accountants, the clever accountants, they built this thing called the path to success. It's based on a growth model that we call 3+2. It assumes that you can bring 3 people into this business in the first month. And then every consecutive month, you only have to bring in 2 people. That's 1 every 2 weeks. Okay? 3 plus 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, till you're 90. Consistency. Okay? But let's look at what it does in the short term. If you can do that, you can be looking at earning R2,500 after 6 months. Wouldn't say no to R2,500. Right? Wouldn't give up my day job for R2,500. But let's give it some context. What was the first aspiration for our wealth engineers? Become debt-free. Become debt-free. So you don't spend the R2,500 on Woolworths avocados. You take the R2,500 and you put it into the debt that you have. Here's an example of someone with R1 million debt. A bond with a bank, 20-year term. They're paying the bank back currently 12,000 Rand a month at the current interest rate. You take 2,500 Rand and you add that to your monthly repayment, it'll drop the 20-year term to less than 12 years. Less than 12 years. Don't be the person that waits to get to their 50s to pay off your bond. Little 2,500 Rand can pay a R1 million bond off in nearly half the time. You save yourself in repayments Listen to this. You save yourself in repayments with that 2,500 rand, R1,000,000 in the long term. How mind-boggling is that? Your house only cost R1,000,000 rand. How can you save R1,000,000 rand with 2,500 rand? It's these clever bankers. That's how they make money, right? Called compound interest. We're on the wrong side of compound interest when we have debt. You keep going. 9,000 rand after 12 months. That's nearly 100,000 rand annually. Anyone get 100,000 rand bonus this year? No one? One! It's the hardest working lady in the audience. 24 months, 30,000 rand. Now we're starting to talk. 30,000 rand a month. Got wealth engineers that have done it in half the time. Less than half the time. But 3 plus 2, remember, you can get there. After 36 months, 50,000 rand. Does anyone's salary in the audience increase every month? No one? Not even the bonus lady? Here's an example of a 5 million rand bond. DuePoint, after 30 months, you're earning about 36,000 rand. Put that into, as an additional payment into your bond. On a 5 million rand bond, you will pay the bond off in less than 7 years. In 21 years, you can own 15 million rands worth of property. Because you'll do that exercise 3 times, right? 3 times 7 is 21 years. You own 3 houses, 5 million rand each. 21 million rand in property assets. That's in 20 years down the line. How do you get there? You have to make the decision today. Not 6 years before the 21 years ends, like most of us do. I'm a natural crammer, I'll admit to it. If I got an exam on Friday, I study Thursday. Got an assignment Monday, I do it on Sunday. Guys, to get there, you have to make the decision today. You have to make the choice 21 years before the result. This is what we battle with. 48 months, you're close to 70,000 rand. And after a short 60 months, 5 years, you're nearly 100,000 rand. That's R1,000,000 rand annually that you can earn from your flexi-time job. At what stage do you resign from your day job? So you might be thinking, well, this is great in theory, right? It's theory. It's academic. The clever accountants came up with these numbers. 2 plus 3 is only an example. It's just an example. You can join, like I said, everyone can join. Very easy to join, 7 minutes to join. But if you don't do anything, your growth model will be 0 plus a 0. And then you will earn 0. There we go. We've got accountants in the audience tonight. But you can do more than 3 plus 2. Why not do more than 3 plus 2? I've got wealth engineers doing way more than 3 plus 2. Yeah, Sean from Alberton. He joined middle of October. By January, he was on nearly 2,500 rand a month. Half the time of 3 plus 2. In a single month, he doubled his income. In 1 month, 100% raise in his income with this business. March is not even finished yet. This number is from the middle of March. We will be debiting more than this number on Sean's business this month. More than that number. Regina from KZN. Joined about the same time. 3,500 rand within 3 months. You go speak to her. We introduced her. We interviewed her. You can go watch her video, her interview on YouTube. It's there for you to go watch. Go listen to her story. She said she put in 4 people on her first point, and when she looked again, she had 400 in her channel. KZN is crazy on fire for this business. Very heartwarming story. Got Rulof, very experienced networker. Very experienced networker. You can't tell him anything about networking. But he was skeptical when we launched this business. He thought we were just talking the talk. Fancy offices, good-looking presenters. So he held back. He told his wife, let's just see what happens with this business. There's so many of these businesses. Let's see what these guys do. He realized after about 6 months that we meant what we were talking about, that we could back up what we were talking about. And he got involved. This is just the beginning for Roelof. He's only getting involved now. He sold his business at the end of last year, so in December. Now he's got time to spend on this business. So let's see. Let's see what he does in the next year. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we are paying every single month. We are paying 50% more wealth engineers this month than we were last month. That's a 50% growth in a single month for a business. How many businesses in South Africa can claim that kind of growth? Right? Unheard of. Unheard of. These are not special people. They don't have 2 or 3 degrees. They don't do psychology or human behavior. Right? They're normal people. All they're doing is committing time to this. They're only committing time. That's the decision we need to make at the end of this presentation. Not if we're joining. That's not the decision. The decision is, if I'm joining, what am I sacrificing to make this business work? Yes. Don't let this be a New Year's resolution. Right? We all do that. Don't let it be that. We're not talking about gym or losing weight. We're talking about your retirement. We're talking about your finances, your family, your dignity. So that was the returns. Over and above the returns, we've got something called the XP Rewards Program. So we pay our wealth engineers a return at the end of every month. But on top of that, we have a rewards program. The rewards program rewards you for the success that you have in this business. So when you become a wealth engineer and you start engaging in the typical behavior that wealth engineers engage in, we will give you something that we call XP, experience points. Doesn't mean anything. It's just something we call XP, it's points. You come to a presentation like this, I'll give you 250 XP. You log into your website, I'll give you 25 XP every time you do that. You bring a guest, I'll give you 100 XP every time you bring a guest, right? So you start collecting all this XP. And when your business starts to grow, you start to rank up in the XP Rewards program. So if you join this evening, you are a rank 0 wealth engineer. You've done nothing. But in 24 hours, as quickly as that, you can get to rank 1. You need 1,000 XP, and you need 4 products in your qualified channel. When you do that, when you do those 2 things, you become rank 1. And I'll give you 55 Rand on top of what I'm paying you at the end of the month. And then when you get to rank 2, I'm going to give you 100 Rand. And as you rank up, the number gets bigger. 400 Rand, then 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. I give you tools that help you become more effective at building your channels of distribution. Here's Patrick and Pumi with their lightning memory stick. They got at rank 5. It is a little device that plugs into phones, tablets, laptops, computers. It can plug into anything. More importantly, it's got all our video collateral on that little stick, so they can show people what the business is all about. The training videos, the interviews, the testimonials, everything is on that stick so that they can show people regardless of where they are, what time of the day it is. It's convenience, right? It makes them more effective. Here's Donnie. Donnie's sitting over here. You can't miss Donnie. Donnie with his rank 7 business cards. You'll be very lucky to get a business card from Donnie because they are worth 12,500 Rand. That's how much it costs us to get them manufactured. They are luxury premium business cards. I could not find cards like this in South Africa. I couldn't even find people to make the cards in South Africa. So now I'm getting one company to do a little bit of this, one company in Cape Town to do a little bit of that, and we've been able to produce these cards. They are one of a kind. You place a card like this in someone's hand, they're going to ask you again, what was DuePoint? Because your card is about 20 times more expensive than their business card. Right? People have never heard of DuePoint before. So if you say, I've got this opportunity, it's called DuePoint, doesn't mean anything to them. But when you put a 12,500 rand business card in their hand, they'll take note. They'll take note. Rank 9. This is a recurring reward. When you get to rank 9, you join the family of rank 9s and above that get to enjoy this holiday every single year. It's our international conference. Every single year. It's not a once-off. You and your family, business class flights, 5-star, luxury resort, this year in Mauritius, 7 days, all expenses paid trip every single year going forward. We've got wealth engineers that have got to rank 9 in 7 months. 7 months away. Up to you. Have a look at where we're going.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand all at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
I've watched that video too many times. Too many times. I want to be there already. And I want to take as many wealth engineers with me as possible. It's available to everybody. Everyone sitting in this room. Because it doesn't require anything special. Just time. So there's no excuse for anyone. We can all get to rank 9. There's no time limit on it. You can take as long as you want, or you can do it in 6 or 7 months if you really want to do it. At rank 11, we give you a car. We buy the car cash and we give it to you. Yours. The nice thing about this car is there's no debit order for you at the end of the month. We are serious about seeing our wealth engineers become debt-free. Become debt-free, right? By rank 11, you're going to be a lot closer to becoming debt-free than you were at rank 1. But we have to start at rank 1. That's where it begins. This is only rank 11. This program goes up to 20. bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Rank 20, we give you a husband. Does all the housework for you. Now you're going to join, right? We've got another incentive that we ran. This was launched in October last year. We issued a challenge to our wealth engineers. We said if you can get 350 products in your channel before the end of March, we will take you to an Easter conference. An Easter conference over Easter weekend, 4 days away. We're taking a whole host of families. Families again, always families. Business class flights to Franschhoek in the Cape. 5-star boutique hotel. Michelin star restaurants. Wine tasting, wine making, chocolate tasting. A whole itinerary for the kids. The whole family. Harley Davidson rides. It's going to be an amazing weekend. It is 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. And for the wealth engineers that are going for this, because there's still a few that haven't quite got there, are working very hard this month. Very hard, because they've got less than a week to make a difference. Okay? It's just more value that you can get out of being a wealth engineer. We do a wealth quest every month, so this is a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers every month, every single month. 2 weeks ago, we gave 9 wealth engineers brand new iPhone 5Ss because they conquered that month's wealth quest. This month's wealth quest is that if you get 20 wealth points products into your first and second point before the end of March, we will give you a code to the entertainer, which is about 1.2 million rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers. Plus, we'll give you 100 gigs of data for the next year. Right? 100 gigs of data for your business. This is a data-driven business. More benefit that you can derive out of this business. People start to get nervous. They think we're spending too much money on our wealth engineers, right? You're thinking you better have the maths right, otherwise this business is going to liquidate. Don't worry, we got the maths right. Been doing businesses like this for a very long time. Fortunately, we've got actuaries involved in the modeling of the business, right? Insurance is a very complicated business model. So that's traditional business model on the left there. They engage in traditional forms of marketing. We appreciate that, right? Every company does some form of marketing or advertising. Insurance companies spend a fortune on client acquisition. You know, you listen to the radio, you hear one of the big insurers go, you phone us for a quote, if we can't better your quote, we'll pay you 400 rand. Crazy, right? If you claim free, we'll pay you 700 rand. That gives you an idea of how much insurance companies are spending on client acquisition. You will not see a DuePoint logo outside of this building because we do not do any marketing or advertising. None. How do we get business? Our wealth engineers, through word of mouth. So we spend that portion of our premium, not on marketing and advertising like the insurance companies do, but on the returns and the XP rewards program that we pay to our wealth engineers. And that is how our business model works. Okay? What are our products? Finally, our products. We have 3 products. You are free to take out 1, 2, or all 3 products. They've got very different financial benefits for our wealth engineers. The first product is an investment product. Okay? Investment. It is 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund in your name. It's not a notice deposit. It's not a fixed deposit. Okay? It's in your name. You can withdraw the funds immediately if you want, but then it wouldn't be an investment. On top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 rands worth of personal accident cover, so that if you have this investment and something happens to you, you die in some form of accident, we will pay your beneficiaries out 110,000 rand. Okay? Sounds like a good funeral, right? So this is the investment product, Access Wealth. The second product is an insurance product. It is called Wealth Guard. This is strictly insurance, nothing else. But this time, for 274 Rand a month, we give you 1.1 million rands worth of personal accident cover. Okay? It doesn't cover you in the event of dying through illness. Don't get confused. It's personal accident cover. The beauty of it is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18. So you can be 75 with cancer, you can still take out this product. Okay? The premium stays the same, the benefit stays the same. So this is the insurance product, Wealth Guard. The third and final product is called the DuePoint Buyers Club. This is a club that allows you to enjoy discounts. This product allows you to save money on the money you're spending every month. How much money are we spending on groceries? Right? A lot. For 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy these partners that we have listed here. We've gone to these businesses and we've negotiated discounts with them that you could never get on your own. So at ShopRite Checkers, we've negotiated 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers. The Entertainer, 1.2 million rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers. Ford, how much money can you save if you go buy a new car and you get a 5% discount or a 10% discount? Eagle Ford will give you the best deal that they can if you come to them as a wealth engineer under the DuePoint Buyers Club. We've got a host of suppliers there. Take a look. We've got retailers and all kinds. We are always adding to this partner list. If you're looking for immediate benefit out of any other products, this is the product to have. Okay, so those are the three products. If you have any questions on them, come speak to me afterwards. I think they've been designed to be very straightforward and simple. Okay, come speak to me if you want to know anything else about them. I'll remind you of the support that you get here. We're near the end, guys. We're near the end. The support that you get here. Those individuals I introduced you to at the beginning of the presentation, our mandate is to support our wealth engineers. We cannot be successful as a business unless you guys are being effective and being successful. So we want to see that. So everything that we've done here is to support you. You can do your own presentations where I'm standing to your own audience. You can use our boardrooms to have your own meetings. You can use all the free Wi-Fi that we have on offer, update your apps, watch television shows, whatever you want to do. You can drink all the free tea and coffee. You can use the breakout rooms. You can even set up time with Brendan and myself. We will sit down with you and your team and strategize with you. I'll give you that time. I'll give you that time. We live stream every presentation we do, training, interviews, everything gets streamed live to the entire country every single day so that you can build outside of Gauteng. Don't be limited by where you live. Build your channels outside of Gauteng. We've got thriving businesses in all the other provinces. Right? Leverage that. Embrace that. Here's the decision slide. Can we remember what the decision was? What are you going to sacrifice if you're interested in this business? It's not for free. That pretty video of everyone water skiing and everything, what did it say at the end? There is a price to pay. What is the price? It's your free time. Your free time. Your personal time. Your time with your family. Your time to relax. You're going to have to sacrifice that to fit this in. There's no other way around it. Got to decide, is this what I need to do? Can I plan 20 years in advance for where I want to be in 20 years' time? Is my employer going to get me there? Is the economy going to get me where I want to be in 20 years' time? Got to make the decision today. I'll support you. I'll do everything I can to see you be effective in this business. It's low risk. Don't tell me you don't have time. None of us have time. Everyone in this room is busy from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. Right? Our lives are jam-packed with stuff. You have to decide what you're going to be sacrificing in your week. You saw Sean? Remember Sean? Our first wealth engineer? His car broke down when he joined. When he joined this business that week, his car broke down. He had to take public transport after work from Alberton to here and back home. Get home at 11 o'clock every night. Sean is here almost every single night. That's before he was making money in this business. That's the sacrifice he decided to make. Do you think it's paid off for him? I think so. Yeah. Okay, so that's the decision slide. Like I said, we make joining very simple. 7 minutes. Get onto our website. If you've got your own smartphone or tablet, hop onto the website, click on the big blue apply button. You'll be a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. You can start chasing those first 5 people down tonight. Rank 1 by tomorrow. Right? Merchandise. We don't make profit on merchandise. Some of the merchandise is fundamental to running your own business. How do you run a business without business cards, for one? This is what baffles me. You go tell people, oh, I'm part of this business. Oh, give me a business card. Oh, no, I don't have a business card. Amateur, right? Get business cards. We make them available for you. Notebooks, power bank. People asking me, do you have a charger every time they come here in the evenings? I don't have a charger. Get a power bank. Okay? What else do we have? Pen, USB stick. The USB stick's great because we put videos on the USB stick, right? So you don't have to use data. We've got the intro presentations, testimonials on there. Plug it in, show people the business without using data. The pin, that pin on the far left there, 40 Rand, represents people who are making money at DuePoint. The moment you become qualified and start earning at DuePoint, you get to buy one of those pins. Wear it. Be proud that you're earning money. People will see you wearing it. Look around you at the wealth engineers who've got the pin on their lapels, right? They're the ones you want to ask for advice from, not the ones without it. Okay. I remind you, we've got a YouTube channel. Everything is on this YouTube channel. Everything we've done. Everything. Training, interviews, testimonies. Everything is on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time I load up a new video onto it. Okay? 2 new videos popped up today. Anyone notice? We've got a mobile app. You can run this business from the palm of your hand through the mobile app. Download it once you become a wealth engineer. It'll keep you abreast of exactly what your business is doing. Okay, guys, we're done. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a lovely rest of the week, and I hope to see more of the guests. Thank you.